Ready to dive into a topic that's blowing up? We're ditching the old image of Africa and jumping into a digital revolution that's turning the continent upside down.
It's really something. We're seeing things happen in Africa with mobile money and all that. Things that are not just cool tech, but really changing how people live. It's unbelievable how fast things are changing.
So, where do we even start? What's the big force behind all of this? I keep seeing stuff about mobile tech being huge there.
You got it. Mobile is everything in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it. Over 500 million people there get on the internet mainly on their phones.
500 million, that's what, bigger than the whole US?
Way bigger. And it's not just posting selfies, it's how they do their banking, get info, everything. Mobile money alone, we're talking about $1 trillion with T dollars flowing through those systems this year.
Trillion, hold on, that's like...
A huge GE boost to those economies.
Mhm.
Small businesses, regular folks who couldn't get a bank loan before, it's a game changer.
And that M-Pesa thing, that's a big part of this, right?
Exactly. With M-Pesa, you don't need a bank branch. Your phone is the branch. Send money, pay bills, the works. Especially in places without many banks around, it's a lifeline.
Makes sense. But all that mobile use, you gotta have the internet to back it up. Has internet access gotten that much better there?
Night and day. Companies like Google and Facebook, they're dropping those giant undersea internet cables, super high speed. It's like they're laying down digital freeways across the continent.
So not just small upgrades, we're talking about completely changing the game.
100%. And it's not just about getting online. We're talking about data centers popping up all over. Businesses don't have to rely on servers across the world anymore.
Makes sense. Faster internet, more reliable, everyone benefits from that. But what are people doing with all this new access? E-commerce has to be huge.
Oh, you know it. Jumia, Takealot. These names are everywhere now.
Yeah.
People are buying and selling online like crazy. And get this, in some places, they're even using cryptocurrency to shop online.
Cryptocurrency. Now that's interesting. Why are they turning to crypto for online shopping?
It's all about stability, or the lack of it. Some local currencies are really up and down. Using crypto is a way for people to protect themselves, especially businesses that need to plan for the future. Just shows you how Africa is using new tech to solve its own problems.
It's mind-blowing to think people are buying groceries with cryptocurrency in some parts of Africa. But this digital surge, it's going way beyond just shopping, right?
Yeah.
What about things like finance and agriculture? How are they being impacted?
You're spot on. This isn't just about convenience, it's revolutionizing entire sectors. Take Fintech, for example. Africa's quickly becoming a global powerhouse for financial tech.
Fintech, that's a hot topic everywhere, but what does it actually look like on the ground in Africa?
Imagine this. A farmer, way out in a village, can get a loan for seeds or fertilizer all on their phone. No bank visits, no paperwork. That's Fintech in action. Mobile banking, loans, even insurance designed for their specific needs.
It's hard to overstate how big of a deal that is. Access to that kind of credit can make or break someone's livelihood. What kind of impact are we seeing on a larger scale because of this?
Well, get this. By next year, almost 70% of adults in Africa are expected to have some form of financial inclusion. And mobile banking's a huge reason why. Just a few years ago, that number was way lower.
70%. That's a testament to how quickly things can change with the right tech. Speaking of change, I'm fascinated by how this digital wave is hitting agriculture. We don't usually think of farming as high-tech, but it seems like that view is outdated.
Totally outdated. Agriculture is the heart and soul of so many African economies, and tech is giving it a new lease on life.
So less about tractors, more about information and tools.
Exactly. Picture this, an app that gives farmers real-time weather updates to plan their crops, or one that tracks market prices so they can negotiate better deals. Invaluable, especially for smaller farms.
It's like leveling the playing field in a way that wasn't possible before.
Absolutely. And there's more. Platforms like Twiga Foods connect farmers directly with buyers, cuts out the middleman, gets fairer prices for farmers, and cuts down on food waste. Everyone wins.
And all that online buying and selling needs secure ways to pay, which loops back to Africa's fintech boom. It's all connected. So we've got finance, we've got farming. What about education? How's the digital revolution changing how kids in Africa are learning?
Now this is exciting. Education in Africa has had its challenges, right? But tech is bridging the gap in amazing ways. Imagine a classroom where every student, no matter where they are, has a tablet with access to a world-class education.
Bringing that kind of knowledge to even the most remote places, that's powerful. Is that really happening in Africa now?
It's becoming more common all the time. Platforms like Ulison and Aneza Education are creating amazing educational content that works Even without perfect internet, kids can download lessons, watch videos offline. It's changing the game.
That's incredible. They're adapting the tech to overcome the challenges.
Exactly. And it's not just for kids either. Online learning for adults, coding schools, tech boot camps, they're everywhere. They're giving young people the skills to thrive in this new digital world.
It's not just about going digital, it's about completely rethinking education. From finance to farming to education, this digital wave is everywhere. And we can't forget healthcare. It's no secret that healthcare in Africa has faced its share of struggles, but it seems like even that's being revolutionized by technology.
Absolutely. One word, telemedicine. It's a game changer, especially in remote areas.
Wait, so people are using their phones to talk to doctors?
You got it. Platforms like M-Pharma are making it possible. Manage prescriptions, have video calls with doctors, even access health records, all from their phone.
That's incredible. It's literally saving lives by connecting people to the care they need. This is all so inspiring, but we can't sugarcoat things. Like any big change, there are always challenges. What are some of the hurdles that need to be cleared so this digital transformation can truly reach its full potential? We've seen just how powerful this digital surge is in Africa, but you're right, every revolution has its growing pains, its speed bumps along the way.
It's like we're trying to draw a roadmap for a journey that's never been taken before. And one of the biggest challenges is making sure everyone's along for the ride. We've got to bridge this digital divide. The gap between people with internet and those without, it's huge, especially between those in cities and those in rural areas.
It's like some people are on a high-speed train while others are stuck on a back road trying to get to the same destination. So what's causing this connectivity gap?
Infrastructure's a big one. Getting reliable internet to those remote villages, it's not easy. We're talking about long distances, tough terrain. Sometimes there's no roads, let alone internet cables.
So it's not as simple as just laying down more cable. There are real logistical hurdles.
Exactly. And even when they do get internet out there, it can be so expensive that people can't afford it. If we want everyone to benefit, we have to make sure it doesn't cost an arm and a leg to get online.
It's a complex problem that needs some out-of-the-box thinking, for sure. What about the other hurdles? What else stands in the way of making this digital revolution stick in Africa?
Regulations, or the lack thereof. It's like trying to build a skyscraper without any blueprints, no safety codes. That's what it's like for tech companies in Africa right now. The rules are outdated, unclear, different everywhere you go.
So the tech is moving at warp speed, but the rulebook is stuck in the Stone Age.
Pretty much. It scares away investors and makes it hard to innovate. If Africa wants to reach its full potential, they've got to clear up these regulations, make things consistent, predictable.
A solid foundation is key for any kind of growth. Makes sense. Now, we can't talk about all this connectivity without talking about the risks. Cybersecurity. More people online, more targets for the bad guys. How big of a concern is that in Africa?
It's a major concern, I have to say. As more people and businesses get online, especially in places where online security is still developing, they're sitting ducks.
Like leaving your door wide open in a neighborhood that's still figuring out its security system.
Exactly. They need to ramp up cybersecurity measures, both for individuals and for the entire continent. It's about making people feel safe to do business online, to live their lives online.
A lot to think about, a lot of challenges on the road ahead. But even with all that, you can't deny the sense of opportunity here. This feels like a defining moment, a chance to build the future of a continent. What would you say to someone listening right now who's thinking, I want to be a part of this?
I'd say, come on in, the water's fine. But seriously, come with an open mind, be ready to listen and learn and work together with the folks who call Africa home. There are so many ways to get involved, from investing in startups to supporting digital literacy programs, even just learning more about what's happening.
We talked about companies like Zudocode, building those online marketplaces, the data centers, even focusing on sustainability, a great example of doing well while doing good.
For sure. And they're not alone. There's a whole community of innovators, entrepreneurs, investors who see the potential in Africa, who want to make a real difference.
Well, this has been quite a journey, exploring this digital explosion happening in Africa, the incredible potential, and the very real challenges, from those mobile money revolutions to this huge task of getting everyone connected.
It's just the beginning. This digital story of Africa, it's still being written, and it's going to be a good one.
To everyone listening, remember that this isn't just about ones and zeros, it's about people. Empowering people, creating opportunities, building a brighter future for everyone.
And keep an eye out for more deep dives. We'll be back to explore even more of this exciting tech scene in Africa.